So today's topic is called psychological self-observation. And this is something that once I grasped it, I immediately began to benefit from it. And what it comes down to is that within all of us is the desire for good, right? If you were to ask anybody if they wanted a better world, obviously you'd be pretty hard-pressed to find anybody that wouldn't say yes. That's kind of a given. We all want the best for ourselves, and we want the best for everyone. Why then do we so often find ourselves or find others in situations where it's our worst sides that are coming to the surface? We all want to be loved and we want to love. So the question comes, why are people hurtful? And the answer seems to be related in how we're basically at the whim of our emotions and circumstances. If something happens in a way that we don't want it to, we're immediately upset, and we go from our normal state of mind, which is patient and understanding, into a rather dross and sometimes pretty hostile state of being. It's easy to see this in others when they're mad or upset with you. They can seem to lose all common sense and even act a bit childish in the way that they basically throw a tantrum or get in a full-blown argument with you over something that's probably pretty insignificant. But it's not just other people. I mean, we are all to some extent pretty different people when things don't go our way. But there's a lot that we can do about that. You see this in some people and how they're able to just somehow magically diffuse conflict or remain unbelievably calm when they're face to face with some things that would easily set us off. So what's their secret, right? Well, the fact is that people that don't work on themselves are always going to be victims of their circumstance. They're going to be constantly tossed from one emotion to the next. And they can easily fall into some pretty bad habits and treat people pretty terribly because they're just overtaken by these emotions that rise up, right? Oftentimes they're so concerned with how others wronged them that they fail to see how they may have participated in causing such a mess. So how do we fix this? Well, we have to understand one very, very important thing, and that's the fact that you are not your thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts and emotions are just things that are happening to you, things that you're experiencing. So, to understand how this works, look at it like this. Each of us can basically be split into three parts, and we'll call these parts the essence, the ego, and the personality. Now, our essence is what you would call our consciousness or your higher self. It's your soul or your spirit. It's who you are at your core. The ego, then, is the side of us that takes over when we aren't 100% happy with what's going on. It's our lower nature. It's the carnal mind, right? It's our impulses and bad habits. It's the part that you look back on and say, what was I thinking, or why did I do that? The personality, then, is just our general way of being that's formed as a response to our early life's environment, mostly. It's the part of you that's naturally introverted or extroverted, the part that chooses your preferences, your hobbies, the things that you like and dislike, if you're loud or quiet, active or passive, qualities that aren't inherently positive or negative, but nonetheless have quite a bit of an effect on our character. They shape your behavior and character quite a bit. So our personality is the part that everyone sees and knows. It's our external self. It can be driven either by the essence or by the ego. So the entire goal of working on yourself is to maximize the amount of influence your essence has rather than your ego as far as the decisions that you're making. So what we want is obviously that best part of ourself being your driving force that's making all of the decisions. So how do we do this? And it, again, goes back to what I had mentioned before, the fact that you are not your thoughts or your emotions. Your thoughts and emotions happen to you. If you were your thoughts and emotions, you could just tell them to stop and they would, but they don't. It's like trying to tell the weather to be warmer or yelling at traffic to clear up, right? We have very little control over our emotions, but we have ultimate control over our decisions. And we can make decisions that counteract these emotions that we're experiencing, effectively eliminating the negative influence that these negative emotions can have over us. So in order to practice this, you really just have to do one simple thing: watch. You may already have a particular issue that you're dealing with that you want to work on or you want to fix. Maybe you're plagued with anxiety. Maybe you get angry easily. Maybe you're depressed and you keep bringing yourself down lower and lower just by your thoughts. Whatever it is, decide that you want something better for yourself and start looking for those times when you're feeling or acting poorly, or acting in ways that you're wanting to change for the better. Practice paying attention to three things. As you're going through your day, just get in the habit of asking yourself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what am I doing? Practice this until you find yourself in a situation where you feel a particularly strong emotion, one of those things that you're trying to work on. Whether it's the anger or sadness or impatience, maybe jealousy, anything. And once you notice that you're feeling that emotion, just watch it. Feel how your body feels. Examine the thoughts that are going through your mind. Examine the thoughts that you're having about that experience that you're going through. And when you do this, immediately a split is created. So the split is the difference between the watcher and that which is being watched. So the watcher is our consciousness. It's your essence, your higher self. Now the thing that is being watched, that is the ego. So that's what we're wanting to rid ourselves of. So in the moment that split occurs, isolate that feeling and ask yourself, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? And what are you doing within that moment? Are you acting in accordance with your highest good? Are you making those best decisions that you can make? Or are you emotionally involving yourself in your circumstances to the point that you're making decisions you otherwise wouldn't be making? So I have a perfect story to sort of illustrate this example. I was just sitting in traffic and some guy pulled in front of me, and immediately I became hostile. All these emotions started rising up within me. I was like, oh, this guy, right? But once it happened, I had sort of been in the habit of doing this, so I observed it. I stopped and I was like, why am I feeling this way? I'm fine. He has plenty of space there in front of me. Why am I acting this way? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling right now? And what I realized is that the only person who is experiencing something negative is myself. Not because of what this guy had done. He didn't do anything wrong. There's plenty of space in front of me. It was literally just me choosing to take it personally as if I was the victim of the circumstance. And that was the most freeing moment for me, because immediately I realized I'm the one causing my own suffering, and I'm the only one that can do anything about it. This guy doesn't know that I'm angry at him, and if he did, he wouldn't care. So by me choosing to be angry about it, I am choosing to put myself through an experience that I don't want to experience. So this habit, this practice is called psychological self-observation, and it's an amazing tool for revolutionizing the way that you think, feel, and behave. As we learn to self-observe, we're gonna kind of uncover this hidden side of ourselves, and basically it's your subconscious mind. It's the stuff that we suppress and bottle up and we let wear on us until gradually it slips out in little cracks in our personality. This is what we want to bring into the light. It's so easy for us to see these problems in other people, but rarely do we take the time to really examine ourselves and see these problems in ourselves. Within all of us is an equal capacity for either good or evil. It all depends on who it is that's the driving force behind our personality. Is it your ego running the show, or are you living through your essence? So practice making that separation between the watcher and that which is being watched in all moments of your day. Just watch yourself as if you're watching yourself in a dream or in a movie or something, and you'll gradually find just how much of your frustrations are meaningless and petty. And you begin to be quite a bit less bothered by all these little circumstances in your life, and you learn to maintain a genuinely positive and bright presence in pretty much all moments of the day. And like anything, the more you practice it, the easier it'll become until you don't even really have to try anymore. So give it a try. Tell me what you think. Hopefully it works out for you, and it'll benefit you as well.